So now he has a job. He is also coaching my son's track team because he signed him up for track and he wanted to coach him through. So he's now coaching my son's track team. I'm still pregnant. We still got these dogs. And around this time is when my baby daddy started making things a little bit difficult when it came to my son Carter. Meaning, like, ever since the defects lady hit him up, anytime that I would drop Carter off at the daycare during my drop off times, he would have the daycare people strip search my son to make sure he didn't have bruises on him. And one day I got a call from defects, well, again, saying that they got a call from the daycare about bruises on my son Carter. And I'm like, what bruise? Like, what are y'all talking about? They called me at work. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? She's like, look, we're gonna come over later tonight. She's like, you at work right now? I'm like, yes, I'm at work. She's like, okay, we're gonna come over later tonight when you get off work, and we need to look at Carter and we need to talk to you. I'm just like, okay. I get off work, I go to the daycare, and I asked the director, I was just like, I got a call from Defects saying that you guys called them about bruises on Carter. What bruises are on Carter? And she pulled down his pants, and she was just like, oh, it's a bruise right here on his side. I'm like, huh? And she showed it to me. She said, yeah, it looked like somebody took their finger and did this. Like this. And this is the bruise right here. I'm like, y'all call Defects for a little bruise on his side that could have came from him bumping into something. She's like, well, we got instruction by his dad. He said that it was a court order that anytime that he comes in that we search him, and then if we find anything, we report it. And I'm just like, that it's not no court order telling y'all to do that. You're not supposed to be doing that. I'm just like, stop doing that. Like, I'm not abusing Carter. Like, Carter isn't being abused in my home. Like, yes, that he has a small little bruise there, but hey, you can see what the placement was. He could have bumped into something. I'm not putting my, like, did you ask him? And she's like, yeah, I asked him, but he can't really tell me. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. So, defects lady came to the house. Yet again, it was a different lady this time. Came to the house, looked at Carter. When she looked at Carter, she looked at me. So she came in. She was just like, I need to see the child. I brought Carter out, and she was just like, yeah, they said it was on his side. I was like, yep. And I pulled down his the side of his waistband a little bit and pulled up his shirt. And I was like, this is it right here. And she looked at it, and she looked at me. She's like, they called us for this. I'm like, yep. Thanks to my baby daddy. Yep. Yep. And she was just like, okay, I'll write this up. We're more likely going to end up closing this because I don't see anything here. I'm like, yep, I knew that this was going to start happening. So from that moment on, of course, he already had a bad taste in his mouth for this nigga. And that was making it worse because we were constantly getting defects reports about Carter with these small little bruises. Like, we had 2 more other reports about small little bruises, like everyday bruises. And you've seen the picture of my son. He is very fair skinned. It got to the point to where they just stopped contacting me about it. Anytime they would get a report from the daycare, they would just go look at it and then call me and let me know that it was a report file, but they're closing it because they already looked at it. They stopped coming to talk to me about it because I'm just like, look, he's gonna keep doing this because that's just how he is. He wants to. He does live to make my life a little difficult. That's why I have to tread lightly when I talk about him. So I'm gonna just leave that at that. So I got all of this stuff going on, and I am not concerned about what D has going on outside of the house. I no longer care. I got too much going on. He now has a job. He's working. I'm trying to figure out, like, how I'm going to maneuver going to Maryland because I had to contact my baby daddy to let him know because I have to give him a 60-day notice. So I sent him a text. I'm like, hey, give me your 60-day notice that I'll be moving because we had a date, July 15th. Like, I'll be moving July 15th to Maryland. And he texted me back, well, that doesn't mean you could take Carter. I was just like, according to our custody agreement, I have to give you a 60-day notice and we have to modify custody before I can leave. So I know I can't just up and take Carter. We have to modify the custody if someone is moving out of state. So I'm trying to start the process on getting the custody modified before I move out of state. And he was just like, okay, we can go ahead and start that. So we started the process of getting the custody modified so that I can move out of state. This was in May. We're in May. Because, like I said, I had to give him 2 months notice. And we was leaving July 15th. So I gave him his 2 months notice. And we started the process on the modification of the custody. So around that time, I still had his email pulled up on my phone. I still had his email on my phone. And I still had his Instagram on my phone. He had got a message from some girl. I'm going to call her Layla. Hey, Layla. I know you watching. I've seen you in the views. So I'm going to call her Layla. So Layla she messaged him, was like, I miss you. And at this point, I stopped asking him about any female that's on his account. I stopped asking because I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care. So when I seen her profile pop up, I go to my profile, type in her name to view her profile. And I click on her profile. I learned from Jenny to not look at the stories. So I'm strolling through and I accidentally double tapped the photo. And I was like, fuck. I was not trying to do that. I was like, fuck. And at this point, my page was on private. It was on private. So I accidentally tapped one of her photos. And I kid you not, within 30 seconds of me tapping and untapping, she sent me a follow request on Instagram. I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, okay. At this point, it's well into 3 o'clock in the morning. Because that is, I'm pregnant. I can't sleep. The smell of D irritates me. Like it is, So I'm up. She sent me a friend request. I didn't accept it. I just hit decline and I put the phone down and I rolled over, went to sleep. The next day, he woke up and he was just like, "What'd you do last night?" I was like, what are you talking about? He was looking at his phone. He asked me that. I was like, what are you talking about? He was just like, did you talk to anybody last night? I said, I didn't talk. What? You was here. What do you mean have I talked to anybody last night? And he was just like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And then I took the car to work because how our schedule was, he would work from like 10 to 6 and I would work from 7:30 to 6. So we were rotating like who would get the car, when we would get the car. Like whoever got off early that day would drive the car to work that day, so that they could pick the other person up and the other person would get a ride to their job. We had that figured out that way. I know that sounded confused because it sounded confusing me just saying that. But yes, we figured out a way to get to work with one car. So I go to work and like as I'm at work, D started texting me. He was like, what you on, Slim? What you doing, Slim? What you on, Slim? And I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, what are you talking about? He was just like, what you on, Slim? What you on? Like, I'm texting him back. I'm like, D, you need to calm down. I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, call me. I'm trying to call you, and you rather text me than call me. Call me. So I call him, and he was just like, so you didn't talk to Layla? I was like, I didn't talk. Who is Layla? I'm like who is Layla? I don't know who no Layla is. He said, so you ain't had no conversation with Layla? And I was like, No. I don't have, like who the hell is Layla?